What's going on? In this video of drawing dynamic anime poses, I chose this pose from the manga Vagabond, and I saw this image on Pinterest and I figured, well, it's a lot of different good images from this particular manga, so I decided to choose this one. So with this video, I'm going to break down my process for breaking down the pose, and then close to the middle or end, I'm going to be adding the details to it. So right now I'm just finding all the big shapes, breaking it down, adding in all the circles. And you see with this one, I decided to just drop in all these circles for, the chest, midsection, the waist, and then also the shoulders, just so I can kind of get a general idea of where to start placing everything and connecting all the shapes to it. And with this, you see I decided to use the red color for this, just because I like to kind of either use red or blue when I start to construct everything before I get into that inking phase. So it's kind of like a easier way for me to see the lines compared to doing it in pencil. Even though it's digital, it's still I still choose to do it the same way. So right now I'm just throwing everything down, dropping in all the shapes. I'm doing it quickly, even though the video is a little bit sped up, but this still was done pretty fast. And again, the shapes for the fingers, and you see I didn't really focus too much on the cylinders for the fingers, just because I've drawn in my head, I know what this how the finger will be if it was cylinders, so I kind of just draw it straight out, because I'm going back over this with the digital inks. So now I lighten it up and I'm adding in the digital inks to it, and I'm using the app Procreate. Typically I use Procreate. Sometimes I use Clip Studio. It all depends on which one I like to use the most. Usually I like to use Clip Studio more because they tend to have a better stability with the pencils and pens. Well, I guess you can also get it with Procreate too, with a few adjustments though. So right now I'm adding in the lines, working all the details. And I think and at least the head for this is a little bit big, which later on I will readjust to make it a little bit smaller. But at this stage, I just kept on going, and you don't really have to adjust things right away. I guess now if I was going in with pen traditionally, then it'd be like a little issue. I probably have to use whiteout and fix things, but since it's digital, all the mistakes can be forgiven. So adding in all the details for his hair, adding in some extra lines. I'm literally following the reference going in. And since you're working digital, you can you kind of go into it and drop in all those lines. And what's good about this particular pen is I can go in light with the lighter you touch it, the thinner the line, the heavier the touch down, the thicker the line, and then the line gets pretty thick for this little pen or ink pen on the app. I'm adding in all the lines, trying to get in as much in there as I can. I always tend to, especially when I'm adding details to the image after I finish the construction phase, I would tend to, I will always more likely focus on the face first, because that's where all the emotion is. And once I get the face down, I'll just start drawing in everything else. Everything else is super easy to do. I just make sure I get that face, and I spend time on that first before I start to roughen everything else. You see me doing right here, I'm just going in quickly, just adding in all the lines and throwing in all the wrinkles, where the wrinkles are going to go, finding all those curves, because when you go in heavy with the inks, it's going to cover up a lot of that. And the lines for the fingers are. Dropping in all those thick lines, heavy lines, everything you can use to get the image done. Now you see me adding in the thick lines or thick ink to it. And this process is a little easier because I'm just literally throwing in all the lines where it goes and all the ink or heavy ink into it. And because it's like on top of the wrinkles, wrinkles tend to be easier to do when you're dropping inks in heavy. As you see me doing right now, I'm just you're dropping the ink in, and especially if you're using a pen with pressure. But if you're using a brush pen, it's the same way. You're dropping in those heavy lines and you're just roughing it in. And I like to do rough ink poses like that. I think I've done a lot of my older videos where I've dropped a lot of heavy inks into a lot of the poses that I've done. I haven't done in a while, but I might start to go back to do it just because I like adding in those heavy inks for the shadows and things like that. You see right now I'm just throwing in all the heavy inks quickly, not really focusing on if it's perfect or not, just dropping it all in. Because even though it's digital, you can still fix it no matter what. I know a lot of time, or a lot of artists like to do the construction phase and then ink it, or use pencils to do fine details, and then lighten that up and go back over it again with another pass. So, cause some artists would do 3 or 4 passes to add more details to, get that crisp look. And you see right now, I'm going in and I'm fixing the head. Using my little lasso tool to shrink it down a little bit because the head was a little bit too big before, and now I made it smaller. Easy fix. Now fixing it traditionally, that'll be a little bit harder, but since I'm working on an iPad, that was pretty simple. And right now I'm just adding in all the finishing touches. I'm dropping in all those last minute shadows. And that's it for this video. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hype it up, hit the like button, subscribe, comment for anything else you want to see, and take care.